The responses are in. What are Team Fortress 2's least favorite maps? For a quick reminder, the poll was broken up into a few sections. Number 1, all maps that you dislike. Number 2, maps my game mode. And number 3, map type preference questions. Our first section lets us know that the least liked map of all time is 2 Fort, but only by 14% rounded down. That is right. 2 Fort is the least liked map, which comes as very little surprise to some people, but it doesn't hold a strong majority. From the most notable entries that were also not liked, we had Turbine at 8.3, Hydro at 7.3, Dust Bowl at 6, Egypt at 5.5, Junction at 7.3, and Steel at 5.2. And what's the most notable about these maps is that these are all early game maps. But this is just letting people choose one map out of every map in Team Fortress 2, and there's just too many for this to be a fair question. So I also included a question on which maps you did not like in general. The top 5 least liked maps in this regard are, unsurprisingly, the same maps that I mentioned above. But when comparing the statistics of people who chose it, only about 1/3 of all people who voted to dislike a map truly detest it. For example, 2 Fort had 35.5 of all recipients vote that they didn't like it, but only 14% of all players called it their least liked map, and the same follows for each previously mentioned. Now, let's not draw any sudden conclusions just yet. Let's go over the maps by game mode and see what interesting things popped up there. Now, the community's presumed least liked attack and defense map is Junction and Egypt, which are only 1% away from another at 22 and 23% respectively. That is right, Dust Bowl is not the least favorite. Does it hold a strong chunk of the pie at 18%? You betcha. Consequently, the map with the least amount of trouble on it is Gorge. Good on you, Gorge. The community's least favorite capture the flag map is 2 Fort, but Turbine is only roughly 2% behind. In fact, when the results were coming in, Turbine was in the lead for a fair portion of the poll until 2 Fort finally started to take over, and that is surprising to me. Both 2 Fort and Turbine are about equally disliked, but 2 Fort is the poster child of the two. Props to Double Cross for being the least liked, or disliked, sorry. Control Points is in a really good spot. As we can tell with our rainbow of colors here, people are indecisive. Yukon has a little bit of favoritism, but other than that, it shows that Control Points are in a pretty good spot. Congratulations to Cold Front for being the least disliked, though. There's only one map that shows any significant variance in hate from any of the others, and that is Nucleus. I would personally wager it's because of Nucleus's unique control point mechanic of opening up, and the lack of any kind of middle of the map, which makes it feel more restrictive than the other maps, but I don't find that to be bad, just different. Viaduct sits at a reasonably placed 99 votes, which makes that the least disliked. Now, if we were to look at this next graph, it would look like Pac-Man's diseased brother getting ready to swallow a green pill. Hoodoo is not a well-liked map, and while Gold Rush and Thunder Mountain sit at a comfortable 14% tie for second, it's surprising to see that this map gets the dislike that it does. As a matter of fact, Barn Blitz, a map notorious for its choke-heavy last point, is only at 5.5%. Somewhere along the way, Hoodoo gained a reputation. Maybe he got into some bad stuff as a kid, maybe he didn't complete his high school education, I really don't know, but it's evident that there is something quite wrong with it. Frontier and Upward had an exact tie at 73 votes for the least disliked, so well done to those two. Unironically, Payload Race made a peace sign, and that's why soldiers roam the maps looking for market gardens, because it's where hippies go to play. I guess you can't guess which map is the 25% one. Out of the miscellaneous maps, Hydro is the least liked. Is anyone surprised? No. According to the people who talked to me after the poll, or after they took the poll, I should say, they recommended that I make manpower and pastime not required, as apparently people just voted randomly because they didn't play those maps enough, as they aren't core game modes, and I can understand that. The statistics are here, but I won't divulge into them considering they are likely inaccurate as to what they should represent. The top 3 least liked game modes are as follow: Pastime, Capture the Flag, and manpower. And all of these game modes are intelligence-based modes. You can disguise the intel as a ball, you can give everybody superpowers, do whatever you want to it, but capture the flag modes are the least liked modes in Team Fortress 2. There's likely a lot of reasons why, from how map design or intel works in Team Fortress 2, but every mode that focuses on a player delivering the objective seems to have a bit of hate. There's also the competitive question, but given the amount of players who play it and given that there's not 1,000 responses on the question, you can look at it, but there's really not a lot going on there. A pretty even circle. And finally, statistically speaking, players enjoy the following. They enjoy short maps or modes that end in under 30 minutes, and they also prefer those that focus on one objective over multiple objectives, and modes where players typically determine the match length. Which means that the most liked game mode types, according to the data, would probably be King of the Hill and Payload on average. And there you have it. Some answers were surprising to me, some were not very surprising, I imagine. I mean, it's not that surprising that 2 Fort is seen as the least liked map, but what is surprising to me is that it doesn't hold as much hate as a lot of people like to give hate for that map. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you for those who participated in the poll. I'm now going to hop over and open 10 cases. I was going to open up 20 cases if we reached 5,000 responses, but unfortunately we didn't do that. But we got close enough to about halfway there that I figured that I would indulge everybody and open up 10 cases for you. So, that being said, I'm going to open up those 10 cases right now. And as promised, it is now time to open 10 of these cases because, again, you guys got almost halfway to it, and I would feel kind of bad if we, didn't do at least something for you. You guys helped give the appreciation. So here we go. First one on the mark, a bloodied pistol. Look at that, it's already been used. It's already been killing people. It's a beautiful person. Next up, number 2, what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be brand new, or is it gonna be somebody who's really fought for the war? You, my good sir, have fought for the war. I appreciate your service. Next up, who's it gonna be? Are you going to be somebody who's free or somebody who's been incarcerated in prison forever? You've done a little bit of time. I think you're field tested or minimal wear. He hasn't really done anything quite just yet. He's still a young guy living on his life. But this next guy, that's his father. His father, hey, he's done some stuff. He's cleaned up his act. He's done a lot better with his life. But his son, he's really just messing up there. Next up, what could it be? A knife, also with some blood on it. Hey, you shift the guy. You definitely shift the guy. Am I mad that we've gotten all blues? No, I don't care, because right now we are only 6 cases in from the last unusual that we got, which was the Midnight Whirlwind Square Dance Taunt, which is an all-class taunt, which is amazing, so I'm fine with it. Here we go, Medibeam, still all blue. In fact, if I get all blues, that's okay with me. You wanna know why? Because I can turn them into, oh, and that one's a factory new, I think, or minimal wear. Still pretty nice, because I can turn them into stat clock tokens, which I can then use to make a mercenary grade strange, so I'm totally fine with that. What are we gonna get? Oh my god, my good sir, you have seen some action. You are bloodied up to heck. Poor guy. Last case, are we going to get all blues today? Gaben, show us the blues. Yes! Beautiful. I don't care that they're all blue. That's fine. I don't care. I'm unboxing because I said that I would. I wasn't expecting to get anything, and since I didn't get anything, my expectations were met. Well, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was kind of disappointing, not gonna lie, but you know what? I'm wearing a smile on my face because I delivered my promise, and that is all that mattered today. So you guys have a great day. I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye-bye.